The galaxy was very old, and it believed it had seen everything. Thousands of species lived among the stars. Powerful empires ruled entire sectors. Massive fleets moved through space like storms. In this galaxy, strength was respected, and weakness was erased. Earth was seen as weak. Humans were new. They talked too much. They signed treaties. They avoided war whenever they could. To the Galactic Council, Earth was nothing more than a small blue world with loud opinions and fragile ships. They called humans soft. At the edge of human space, there was a small colony called Haven 12. It was not rich. It had no great defenses. Families lived there. Miners worked long shifts. Children played under artificial skies, believing the galaxy was peaceful. They were wrong. Without warning, an alien fleet arrived. Their ships were sharp and dark, built for conquest. No message was sent. No demand was made. The fleet opened fire. Haven 12 burned. Cities vanished in minutes. Stations broke apart. Escape ships were destroyed before they could flee. When it was over, nothing remained except silent debris drifting in space. To the galaxy, this was a message. The alien commander sent a short report to the council. It said the colony was removed for strategic balance. No apology followed. No fear followed either. They waited for Earth to respond. But Earth did nothing. Hours passed. Then days. No threats. No fleets. No angry speeches. Earth went completely silent. Even its usual diplomatic channels stopped sending messages. The council laughed. They said humans had finally learned their place. Some believed Earth would beg for peace. Others believed humans were too scared to even speak. The galaxy moved on. But deep beneath Earth's surface, something else was happening. Hidden facilities awakened. Old systems powered on. Ships that were never listed in any registry began to move. Human commanders studied data with calm faces. No one shouted. No one panicked. This was not chaos. This was preparation. Earth's leaders did not call an emergency council. They did not broadcast their pain. Instead, they looked at one simple fact: the line had been crossed. Humanity remembered something the galaxy had forgotten. Humans did not avoid war because they were weak. They avoided it because they knew its cost. And now, that cost would be paid. At the far edge of Earth's space, a single signal was released. It was old, buried deep in secure channels. The signal reached places no alien had ever mapped. The message was short. Cold. Clear. This was not an act of war, it said. This was a mistake. Across the galaxy, long-range sensors began to pick up strange readings. Human space was no longer quiet. Massive energy spikes appeared and vanished. Ships moved without using known jump lanes. Some alien scouts reported impossible numbers. Others never reported at all. Still, the council did not worry. They believed humans were bluffing. They believed Earth was too divided, too small, too gentle to strike back. They had judged humanity by its words. They had ignored its history. On Earth, a human admiral stood before a dark display of stars. He did not smile. He did not speak loudly. He simply gave one order. Begin Phase 1. Far away, the stars watched. Soon, they would fall silent. After the destruction of Haven 12, the galaxy waited for noise. Anger. Threats. Speeches filled with blame. That was how young species reacted when they were hurt. But Earth did none of that. Human space became quiet in a way no one had seen before. Trade signals stopped. Diplomatic channels went dark. Even civilian broadcasts faded out one by one. To outside observers, it looked like Earth had pulled away from the galaxy itself. Alien analysts studied the silence and smiled. They said humans were afraid. Some alien leaders claimed Earth was already collapsing from fear and grief. Others said the humans would soon come asking for mercy. In council halls, jokes were made about the quiet apes who finally understood their place. Yet the silence was not empty. Inside Earth's space, activity increased. Hidden shipyards opened that had not been used for decades. Deep space docks unlocked massive doors sealed long before most alien species learned faster-than-light travel. Human fleets did not gather in open space. They moved slowly, quietly, using routes no alien map recorded. Ships traveled without lights. No banners. No warnings. This was not how wars usually began. On Earth, leaders avoided the public eye. There were no dramatic announcements. No emotional speeches. Humanity mourned in private. Families cried in silence. Names of the dead were read quietly, one after another, in rooms with no cameras. Grief did not weaken humans. It sharpened them. The Galactic Council grew bored of waiting. They sent scouts into the edges of human space. The orders were simple: confirm Earth's weakness. The first scout ship crossed the border and vanished. No distress call followed. A second ship entered, using a different route. Its sensors detected massive power readings, then nothing. Its signal ended mid-sentence. Now, some began to worry. But pride is slow to die. Council members argued that it was a technical failure. Human space was dangerous, they said. Poorly maintained. Full of debris. They ignored the pattern forming in the dark. Meanwhile, Earth's fleets continued to move. Human commanders studied alien battle formations. They did not rush. They waited. They watched enemy patrols pass without being seen. They mapped weak points that aliens had forgotten even existed. This was not revenge driven by anger. This was planning driven by patience. At a distant human outpost, a fleet commander looked at a star system filled with alien warships. He waited for confirmation. When it came, he nodded once. Still no attack was launched. The galaxy noticed something strange. Everywhere near human space, long-range sensors began to fail. Communication relays stopped working. Entire star lanes became unreliable. Traders complained of ghost signals and false readings. It was as if space itself was being prepared. An alien admiral finally spoke what others feared. Humans are not hiding, he said. They are aiming. The council dismissed him. They believed humans needed allies. They believed Earth could not stand alone against the combined power of the galaxy. They believed silence meant surrender. They were wrong. Deep in human command space, a final system unlocked. A weapon category unknown to alien science came online. Not loud. Not dramatic. Precise. A human officer watched the readiness report and felt no joy. Only responsibility. The order had not yet been given. But it was close. Far across the stars, an alien patrol detected something impossible. A human fleet appeared where no fleet should exist. No jump flash. No warning. Just sudden presence. The patrol had time for one short message. Earth is not silent, it said. Earth is watching. Then the stars around them went dark. And the galaxy finally understood. The silence was not fear. It was the calm before judgment. The galaxy did not hear an explosion. That was the first thing that confused them. An alien war fleet was patrolling the Virex system, a key location near human space. It was strong, confident, and heavily armed. Its commanders believed no human force could challenge them there. They were wrong. Human ships appeared without warning. No jump light. No signal. No sound. One moment, the system was calm. The next, unfamiliar shapes existed between the stars. The alien sensors screamed with errors. The human fleet did not rush forward. It did not spread out. It held position, perfectly still, like predators waiting for the right moment. The alien admiral ordered his ships to raise shields and lock weapons. His crew moved fast, trained for battle. They never fired a shot. A single human vessel moved ahead. It was not the largest ship. It did not glow with power. It looked simple. Almost plain. Then it activated its weapon. There was no flash. No burning light. No loud shockwave. Space itself seemed to pause. The alien flagship disappeared. Not exploded. Not broken. Gone. In the same instant, 3 more alien ships vanished as if they had never existed. No wreckage remained. No energy trail. Just empty space where proud warships once ruled. Panic spread through the alien fleet. They fired wildly into the dark. Their weapons hit nothing. Their shields meant nothing. Human ships moved with impossible precision, striking once, then repositioning before sensors could adjust. Every human attack was silent. Every result was final. Within minutes, the Virex system was empty of alien warships. Only human ships remained. Across the galaxy, long-range observers stared in disbelief. Entire fleets were disappearing without battles, without screams, without time to understand what was happening. The Galactic Council demanded answers. None came. Human fleet struck again. And again. Each time, a key alien system was erased from military maps. Command centers vanished. Shipyards ceased to exist. Supply hubs became silent graveyards of space. The pattern was clear. Humans were not attacking planets. They were removing the galaxy's ability to fight. Alien leaders tried to respond. Emergency fleets were formed. Old alliances were activated. Warnings were sent across all known channels. Humanity did not reply. They did not threaten. They did not boast. They simply continued. In one system, an alien admiral watched his screens as human ships surrounded him. His weapons officer begged for permission to fire. The admiral knew it would change nothing. He opened a channel. "This can still stop," he said. "We can talk." The human response came instantly. "This is not a conversation," the voice said calmly. "This is a correction." The fleet vanished moments later. Word spread fast now. Faster than fear. Alien species that once laughed at Earth began to pull back their forces. Borders closed. Fleets hid behind planetary defenses. Some worlds powered down entire systems to avoid attention. Still, Earth continued. Not everywhere. Only where it mattered. Human commanders selected targets with care. They avoided civilian zones. They avoided unnecessary destruction. Every strike served one purpose: to end resistance before it could begin. This confused the galaxy even more. Humans were showing restraint. That restraint was terrifying. At last, a single message was broadcast from Earth. It was sent on open channels, translated into every known language. It was not loud. It was not emotional. It was clear. "We warned you," the message said. "You ignored us. This ends when the threat ends." No signature followed. No name. Just silence again. But this silence was different. Now, it was filled with fear. Alien leaders finally understood what they had done. They had not attacked a weak world. They had tested a species that had survived its own wars. Its own near extinction. Its own history of destruction. And now, Humanity was using that history. Far away, in a secure human command room, the Admiral watched the galaxy shift. He knew this was only the beginning. Phase 1 was complete. The universe was learning a lesson it would never forget. Earth had struck back. And the stars had started to fall quiet. The galaxy had never felt fear like this before. It was not the loud kind of fear. Not screaming alarms or burning worlds. It was a slow, heavy fear that settled into every council chamber and command deck. Human fleets were no longer a rumor. They were a fact. Across dozens of systems, alien commanders reported the same thing. Human ships appeared without warning. They did not chase. They did not threaten. They simply removed targets with perfect control and vanished again. Entire military networks collapsed in days. Supply lines failed. Defense grids stopped responding. Communication arrays went dark one after another. Fleets that once ruled star lanes now hid near their home worlds, unsure if hiding even mattered. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. For the first time in centuries, no one argued. Screens showed empty systems where powerful empires once stood proud. Names were removed from star maps. Borders were redrawn not by treaties, but by silence. An elder counselor finally spoke. "This is not war," he said slowly. "This is punishment." Some leaders demanded total retaliation. They ordered every remaining fleet to gather and strike Earth together. They believed numbers would win. Others shook in fear. They remembered the first reports. Human weapons that did not explode. Fleets erased without wreckage. Battles ended before they began. One truth became clear. No one understood how humans were doing this. Alien scientists worked without rest. They studied recordings, sensor data, and last transmissions. Nothing made sense. Human ships ignored known limits of speed and detection. Their weapons broke every law alien science trusted. It was as if humans were fighting with knowledge from the future. Inside human command space, there was no celebration. Human officers moved with quiet focus. Loss reports from Haven 12 were still visible on private screens. Names. Faces. Lives that would never return. This was not revenge driven by hate. It was justice driven by memory. One alien empire tried a different path. They sent an unarmed envoy ship toward human space. No shields. No weapons. Only a message of surrender. The ship was allowed to pass. Human escorts guided it safely to a neutral zone. This single act shook the galaxy more than any battle. It proved something terrifying. Humans were in full control. They could destroy anyone. And they could choose not to. Fear spread faster now. Several empires pulled their fleets back entirely. They shut down weapons platforms. They erased attack plans from their databases. Publicly, they declared peace. Privately, they prayed to be ignored. But a few still resisted. One proud empire refused to bow. Their leaders believed Earth would eventually slow down. They gathered their remaining forces and prepared a final stand near a heavily fortified system. Human commanders noticed. They did not rush. They waited until every enemy ship arrived. Then they acted. The battle lasted less than 1 minute. When it ended, the fortified system was intact. The planets were untouched. The population was unharmed. Only the fleet was gone. No survivors. No debris. The message was clear. Humans were not here to conquer territory. They were here to remove threats. The galaxy began to understand the real horror. There was no victory condition against humans. No surrender timer. No final battle. No heroic last stand. Only survival through obedience. A galaxy-wide broadcast followed. Human voice. Calm tone. We will not rule you, it said. We will not erase you. But we will remember. Those words echoed through council halls and command rooms alike. Remembering was something humans did very well. One by one, alien leaders stood down. Fleets powered off weapons. Borders were open to inspection. Old rivalries were forgotten in the face of one shared truth. Earth had changed the balance of the universe. Forever. In the dark between stars, space grew quiet again. But this time, the silence was not calm. It was respect mixed with fear. The galaxy had panicked. And humanity had not even finished speaking yet. The war did not end with a final battle. That confused the galaxy more than anything else. After weeks of silent strikes and careful destruction, the human fleet stopped moving. No new systems went dark. No more military hubs vanished. The pressure that had crushed the galaxy suddenly eased. Human ships held their positions. They did not advance. They did not retreat. They simply waited. Across the stars, alien leaders struggled to understand what came next. Some expected Earth to demand territory. Others believed humans would now rule the council. A few feared something worse, a final act that would erase all doubt. Nothing happened. At last, Earth spoke again. The message was broadcast across every known channel. It reached grand capital worlds and small border stations alike. It was translated into thousands of languages. The tone was calm. Almost gentle. Humanity does not seek an empire, the message said. We do not seek fear. We seek safety. The galaxy listened in complete silence. We warned you when you crossed our border, the message continued. You ignored us. You chose violence. The words were not angry. They were simple facts. We responded not to conquer, but to stop you from ever trying again. For many alien species, this was the moment everything changed. They realized humans had never fought for pride. Never fought for dominance. Never fought to prove strength. Humans fought to end threats. The message ended with one final line. Do not mistake our mercy for weakness again. Then the signal stopped. No demands followed. No conditions were given. Human fleets began to withdraw, slowly and openly. For the first time, alien sensors could see them leave. The same ships that had arrived like ghosts now departed like guardians returning home. The galaxy did not cheer. It held its breath. In council halls, leaders sat in stunned silence. Empires that once threatened Earth now rushed to rewrite their laws. Military doctrines were erased. Attack plans against human space were deleted forever. The universe adjusted. Trade routes were redrawn to avoid human borders. New protocols were created. A single rule spread across the stars, unspoken yet absolute. Never provoke Earth. Stories began to circulate. Not official reports, but whispers. Tales told by survivors and analysts. They said humans had more weapons than they used. They said Phase 1 was only a lesson. They said Earth could have ended the galaxy if it wanted. No one tried to confirm these rumors. No one wanted to know. On Earth, life slowly returned to normal. Cities repaired. Children went back to school. Ships returned to peaceful patrols. Memorials were built for Haven, 12 and other lost souls. Humanity remembered its dead. But it did not live in hatred. A human historian later wrote that the silence which followed the war was the most important moment in galactic history. Not because of fear, but because of understanding. The galaxy finally understood humans. They were not loud conquerors. They were not endless warriors. They were survivors. A species born on a violent world. A species that had nearly destroyed itself more than once. A species that learned, painfully, what unchecked aggression could do. That knowledge had shaped them. And when the galaxy tested them, humans responded with control, not chaos. Years passed. No alien fleet ever crossed human borders again. No weapons were aimed at Earth. Even ancient rival empires chose peace rather than risk human attention. The stars remained quiet. Not because Earth ruled them, but because the universe had learned respect. In the deep silence between worlds, one truth remained, shared in every language and every culture. When Earth struck back, the universe did not argue. It went silent. And it stayed that way.